The rain hammered against the fire escape like a drunk pounding on the door, demanding entry it had no right to. Alexander's breath hitched in the dark, hot and uneven against my neck, his arm slung heavy across my waist as if he'd claimed the whole damn bed in his sleep. "Dan," he murmured, voice thick with that half-awake rumble that always made my stomach twist. You're warm." I froze, heart slamming like a bass drop at a basement show in Bushwick. We'd crashed here after too many IPAs at McSorley's, the kind of night where the world blurred into laughter and bad decisions. His straight-ass charm pulling girls' numbers while I nursed my secret, the one that stared back at me every time he stripped off his shirt without a care. But now, in the sticky August heat of my one-bedroom in Brooklyn, his body pressed flush against mine, thigh slotted between my legs like it belonged there. This wasn't just spilling over. This was invasion, the kind that could shatter everything. Alexander shifted, his lips brushing my collarbone accidental-like, sending a jolt straight south. I should have shoved him off, laughed it away like one of our dumb bro jokes. Instead, my hand found the nape of his neck, fingers threading through sweat-damp blonde curls, holding him there as the storm outside raged on. God help me, I wanted this wreck. It started innocent enough, or at least that's the lie we told ourselves. Alex and I met freshman year at NYU, thrown together in a psych seminar where the prof droned on about Freud like he was dropping gospel. He was the golden boy from some suburb outside Philly, lacrosse captain, easy grin, the guy who could quote Springsteen lyrics mid-conversation and make it sound profound. I was the artsy queer kid from the Midwest, all thrift store flannels and sketchbooks filled with half-formed portraits of boys who'd never looked twice. We bonded over hating the dorm food and chain-smoking on the rooftop, him venting about his ex-girlfriend's drama, me nodding along while sketching the skyline, wondering if he'd ever notice the way my eyes lingered on his jawline. By junior year, we were inseparable. Road trips to the Jersey Shore in his beat-up Jeep, blasting the National until our throats hurt from screaming along. Late-night study sessions that devolved into Mario Kart marathons, his knee bumping mine under the coffee table, electric and ignored. He knew I was gay, came out to him over cheap whiskey in our off-campus apartment, expecting the awkward fade out. Instead, he clapped me on the back, said, "Dude, you're still my number one. Nothing changes that," and pulled me into a hug that lasted 3 beats too long. It was the first crack in the facade, the one I papered over with denial and distance. That summer, post-graduation haze settling in like fog off the East River. We were both crashing at my place while he job-hunted in the city. I waitressed at a dive in the Village, sketching tourists between shifts. He tempied at some finance firm on Wall Street, Ty choking the life out of him. Nights blurred into a rhythm. Takeout Ty, Netflix binges, collapsing onto my lumpy queen bed because the couch was a war crime. We joked about it at first. Bro code says I get the left side, he'd say, flexing like an idiot, but lately, the jokes felt thinner, the air thicker. Tonight's storm had sealed it. Lightning cracked like a whip as we stumbled in from the bar, soaked and giggling, peeling off wet clothes in the living room. He tossed his shirt at me, bare-chested and gleaming under the hall light, abs cut from years of pickup games at the pier. "Your turn, perv," he teased, eyes locking on mine a second too long. I flipped him off, heart racing, and we piled into bed in boxers, the fan whirring uselessly overhead. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with his scent, salt and cedar cologne, and then his arm draped over me, pulling me back against his chest. Awake now, Fully, I could feel him hardening against my thigh, the slow grind of his hips unconscious but insistent. Panic and want warred in my chest. "Alex," I whispered, voice cracking like thunder outside. He stirred, eyes fluttering open, hazy blue in the low light. For a heartbeat, confusion flickered, then something darker, hunger, maybe, or fear. His hand flexed on my hip, thumb tracing the V of my bone, and he didn't pull away. "Dan." "Shit. I'm sorry," he breathed, but his body betrayed him, pressing closer. "Don't," I said, turning in his grip to face him, our noses inches apart. Rain sheeted the window, blurring the neon glow of the bodega sign below. "Just don't stop." His breath caught, a ragged sound that echoed in my bones. Then, like the storm breaking, his mouth crashed into mine, rough, desperate, tasting of hops and regret. Hands everywhere, fumbling, claiming. My fingers digging into his shoulders as he rolled us, pinning me beneath his weight. It was messy, all teeth and gasps, his stubble scraping my jaw as he murmured my name like a curse. "This is fucked," he groaned against my throat, even as his hand slipped under the waistband of my boxers, bold and trembling. "Yeah," I gasped, arching into him, "but don't you dare stop." We didn't. The bed creaked under us, the world narrowing to slick skin and whispered confessions. His voice breaking on, "I've thought about this. Mine shattering on me too. God, me too." Climax hit like lightning, leaving us wrecked and panting, tangled in sheets that smelled of us now. After, he held me, chin hooked over my shoulder, silent as the rain tapered off. Morning light crept in gray and unforgiving. Alex bolted upright, eyes wide like he'd woken in a stranger's bed, which, in a way, he had. "Mine. Dan. Last night. That was." He trailed off, scrubbing a hand over his face, the easy grin nowhere in sight. "A mistake," I supplied, sitting up, sheet clutched to my chest like armor. My voice was steady, but inside, I was fracturing. He flinched. "No. Fuck no." It was intense. Real. He reached for me, hesitant, and I let him pull me close, his forehead to mine. "But I'm not, you know, gay. Or bi. Whatever. I'm just me. And you're you. My best friend." The words landed like a gut punch, but I swallowed it down. "Yeah. Best friends who just fucked." I forced a laugh, brittle as glass. "No big deal." He nodded, relief flooding his face, and dressed quick, muttering about a job interview. Kissed my temple soft, almost tender, before vanishing into the hallway, door clicking shut like a period at the end of a sentence. I sat there, staring at the rumpled bed, the ghost of him still warm in the sheets. This was just the beginning, I knew. The storm had passed, but the floodwaters, they were rising fast. Weeks blurred into a tense new normal. Alex landed the finance gig, junior analyst at some gleaming tower in Midtown, and we celebrated with beers on the roof, the city sprawling below like a promise. He acted like nothing had shifted, slapping my back after a long day, crashing on my couch with his feet in my lap during games. But the air hummed with it, that unspoken current. Stolen glances in the kitchen, his hand lingering on my shoulder a beat too long. Nights when he'd text coming over, and I'd know sleep wouldn't come easy. One Friday, After a brutal shift where a drunk tourist grabbed my ass and I nearly decked him, Alex showed up with pizza and a six-pack, eyes scanning me like he could see the bruise under my skin. "Rough night?" he asked, voice low as we ate cross-legged on the floor. "Always is," I shrugged, but he didn't let it drop, pulling me into a hug that turned sideways, his lips finding mine before I could think. Softer this time, exploratory, like he was mapping uncharted territory. We ended up on the couch, clothes shed in a trail to the bedroom, bodies moving with a familiarity that scared me. He was attentive, almost reverent, kissing down my spine, whispering how good I felt, how right. "You're killing me, Dan," he admitted in the dark, fingers laced with mine. "This. It's messing with my head. Tell me about it," I murmured, but didn't push. Not yet. The conflict simmered. He started dating again. A perky marketing girl named Jess from his office, all blonde waves and yoga pants. "She's cool," he told me over burgers at Shake Shack, avoiding my eyes. "Low-key. No pressure." I nodded, stomach churning. And that night, when he came over just to hang, we didn't touch. The bed felt vast, empty, his side a cold accusation. Then came the betrayal, sharp as a switchblade. I walked in early from a canceled shift, key turning in the lock to the sound of laughter, hers, high and bubbly, from my bedroom. The door ajar, Alex's voice murmuring, "Yeah, he's my roommate, total bro. Gay as hell, but harmless." Jess giggled, and he continued, casual cruelty slicing deep. "Dude's got it bad for me, thinks I don't notice. It's kinda pathetic, right? But hey, keeps things interesting." I backed out, silent as a shadow, rain starting up again outside like the universe mocking me. Down the fire escape, into the downpour, I ran until my lungs burned, the city swallowing me whole. The village streets were a slick maze that night, puddles reflecting taillights in fractured red and gold, like the mess in my chest. I ended up at Washington Square Park, bench soaked through, but I didn't care. Hoodie pulled low as sobs racked me, quiet and ugly. Pathetic. That's what he thought. After everything, the touches that lingered, the nights we'd blurred lines until they vanished. I was just the punchline, the side character in his straight guy narrative. My phone buzzed, his name lighting the screen. "Where you at?" "Just left. Come home." I stared at it, thumb hovering, then smashed the power button. Home. What a joke. That walk-up with its peeling wallpaper and view of the projects wasn't home anymore. It was a stage for his denial, my delusion. Hours later, buzzed on corner store whiskey from a paper bag, I stumbled back. He scraped the lock, and there he was, pacing the living room in boxers, hair wild. "Jesus, Dan, you scared the shit out of me. Where were you?" Relief twisted to anger, his hand grabbing my arm. Firm, possessive. I yanked free, whiskey breath sour between us. "Out. Living my pathetic life." The word hung, venomous, and his face drained of color. "What the hell does that mean?" "You tell me, Alex." I laughed, bitter, stripping off my wet hoodie, shirt clinging cold to skin. "Heard you and Jess. Real smooth, man. Gay as hell, but harmless. Gold star for originality." He recoiled like I'd slapped him, eyes wide. "You. Shit. Dan, that wasn't, I was just talking, bullshitting. She's nosy, digging into why I'm always here. I didn't mean. Bullshitting. My voice rose, cracking on the edge. You think that's what this is? Some game? I've been in love with you since that goddamn rooftop. Alex. Since you hugged me after I came out and made it feel safe. And you. You kiss me. Fuck me. Then parade her in here like I'm the joke. It's not like that. He stepped closer, hands up like I was a cornered animal. I'm confused. Okay, this thing between us. It's intense. Yeah, but I'm not. I like girls. Just as easy. Normal. You and me? Is fireworks. Dan. Dangerous. Dangerous. I echoed it, tasting ash. So what? I'm the thrill, the dirty secret until you get bored. No. He closed the gap, cupping my face, thumbs rough on my cheeks. You're everything. My rock. But I can't. I don't know how to be what you want. The fight drained out, leaving exhaustion. I leaned into him despite myself, his arms wrapping tight, chin on my head. Then let me go, I whispered. Before you break me for good. He didn't answer, just held on as thunder grumbled distant. We slept like that, clothed and chased on the couch, his heartbeat a lullaby I couldn't trust. The next weeks were a tightrope. Jess faded, some office drama, he said, shrugging it off. But the rift lingered, a fault line waiting to crack. We fell into patterns. Mornings of coffee and crosswords at the kitchen table, his foot hooking mine under it accidental on purpose. Evenings of takeout and talks that skirted the edge, him venting about Wall Street sharks, me sharing sketches of Central Park strangers, capturing their loneliness in pencil strokes. One night, after a gallery opening in Chelsea where I sold my first piece, a moody portrait of two silhouettes against the skyline, inspired by us, he showed up buzzed on champagne, eyes glassy. That was you, he slurred, pinning me against the door the second it shut. The shadows. Us. Yeah, I breathed, hands fisting his shirt. And I can't stop thinking about it. His kiss was fire, urgent, backing me toward the bed. We stripped slow this time, reverent. His mouth mapping my ribs, fingers tracing scars from a childhood fall I never talked about. Tell me what you need, he murmured, voice wrecked. And I did, guiding him gentle, our bodies syncing like a song we'd always known. After, tangled and spent, he traced lazy circles on my back. What if I can't give you more? Labels and shit. What if I'm just broken? You're not broken, I said, propping on an elbow to meet his gaze. Stormy blue. You're human. Messy. Like me, he smiled, faint, pulling me down. Messy works, but messy bread storms. His family visited from Philly, a weekend of forced cheer, his mom cooing over my cozy artist pad, Dad grilling him on promotions. I played the roommate role flawless, but Alex tensed whenever our eyes met across the dinner table, his knee pressing mine under it like a lifeline. The night they left, he cracked. They'd never get it, he said, pacing as rain lashed the windows again. Fate's cruel motif. Dad's all macho bullshit. Mom's church every Sunday. If they knew. Knew what? Pressed. Heart pounding. That you're bi? That you love? Don't. He whirled. Ice fierce. I can't lose them. Or you. But this? It's tearing me apart. Then choose, I said, voice steel despite the tremor. Or we'll both drown. He didn't. Instead, he pulled away, late nights at the office. Bro hangs with old lacrosse buddies. Texts sparse and safe. I threw myself into art, pounding canvases in a Soho studio space I'd scraped for, painting our story in abstract fury. Blues bleeding into reds, forms merging then fracturing. The climax built slow, then exploded at a house party in Williamsburg, some tech bro's loft, bass thumping through exposed beams, bodies grinding in the haze of weed and synth-pop. Alex showed solo, tie loosened, scanning the crowd until his eyes locked on mine across the room. I was with a date, Ethan, a cute sculptor from the gallery, all freckles and easy flirtation, but Alex's stare burned, possessive. He cut through the throng like a shark, hand clamping my wrist. "We need to talk. Now?" I yanked free, heat rising. "You've been ghosting me for weeks." Ethan raised a brow, but I waved him off. "Give me a sec." Outside, on the fire escape overlooking the pulsing street, rain misting the air, Alex exploded. "Who's he?" "None of your business." I crossed arms, chin up. "You made it clear, friends. So fuck off." "I'm trying, Dan, to figure this out. But seeing you with him..." His voice broke, fist slamming the railing. "It guts me." "Good." Cruelty spilled out, unchecked. "Feel what I have. The waiting, the hoping, while you play straight and safe." He grabbed my shirt, hauling me close, breath mingling hot. "I love you," he rasped, the words a thunderclap. "Fuck, I do. But I'm scared shitless." "Then show me." My hands fisted his collar, pulling until our mouths met, brutal, claiming, rain soaking us through. We stumbled back inside, ignoring stares, into a shadowed bathroom where locks clicked and clothes hit tile. Urgent, frantic. His hands bruising my hips, my nails raking his back, gasps echoing off porcelain as we chased oblivion. After, slumped against the sink, his forehead to my shoulder. "I meant it. Love you." Tears mixed with rain on my cheeks. "Prove it. No more half measures." He nodded, solemn. "I will." But promises in the afterglow are fragile as mist. Fall crept in crisp and golden, leaves carpeting the sidewalks like confetti from a parade we'd missed. Alex tried, God, did he try? Mornings started with coffee runs from the bagel spot on Bedford, his hand brushing mine deliberate as he passed the cup, steam curling between us like a secret. "Black, 2 sugars," he'd say, winking, and I'd roll my eyes but smile, the knot in my chest loosening just a fraction. We carved out space, weekends hiking in the Palisades, his arm slung casual around my shoulders as we crested hills, Manhattan a distant sparkle. "Look at that," he'd murmur, breath warm on my ear. Our city, nights in, cooking pasta from scratch, sauce splattering the stove as he fed me a taste, sauce on his thumb that I sucked clean, his groan low and appreciative. Sex evolved too, from desperate to deliberate. Slow mornings where he'd wake me with lips on my hip bone, exploring like he had all the time in the world. "I could get used to this," he admitted one dawn. Sheets pooled at our waists, his fingers tracing the ink on my forearm, a small skyline I'd gotten on a whim. "You and me. Real." "Yeah." I turned, propping on his chest, heart full but wary. "No regrets." His eyes, clear and steady, held mine. "None." The world intruded slow, insidious. His job ramped up, late mergers, client dinners where he'd come home reeking of scotch and perfume that wasn't mine. "Schmoozing," he'd mutter, collapsing beside me, but the distance grew, inches turning to miles. My art took off too, a solo show at a tiny East Village gallery. Critics buzzing about my raw emotional depth. Opening night, he was there, sharp in a button-down, clinking glasses with collectors, his pride beaming like sunlight. But whispers followed. A buddy from his office texted me. Innocent, or so it seemed, heard Alex is killing it. Bring him to the holiday thing? Jess'll be there. Jess. The ghost. I deleted it, but seeds of doubt sprouted. Thanksgiving loomed, his family's pull inexorable. Come with, he begged over dumplings in Chinatown. Chopsticks paused midair. As my friend, roommate, whatever, I laughed. Sharp. Pass. Turkey and tension? Hard no. He deflated, but went 3 days in Philly. Radio silence broken by a single call. Miss you. Home soon. I spent it solo, sketching by the window, turkey from the deli warming lonely on a plate. He returned changed. Tired eyes. Forced cheer. Mom made her pie, he said, unpacking, but his hug felt obligatory. That night, in bed, he turned away when I reached, mumbling about jet lag. The next morning, I found the text on his phone, screen lit on the charger. Great seeing you, son. Proud. Bring Jess next time, she's a keeper. Jess. Again. Confrontation brewed over breakfast, cereal soggy in bowls, air thick. Who's the keeper? I asked, voice even. He froze, spoon clattering. Dan, it's nothing. Dad's old school, pushing the girlfriend thing. I shut it down. Did you? Doubt laced my words. Or did you let it hang? Like always. Jesus. Not this. He shoved back, chair scraping. I'm trying to navigate my family without blowing up my life. Without losing you. But you're losing me anyway. The truth spilled. Raw. Every time you dodge, every just friend's white lie, it chips away. He stood, hands raking hair. What do you want? Me to come out at the dinner table? Hey folks, I'm banging my best friend? Maybe. I shot up, chest heaving. Or at least own it. Stop the half-in, half-out bullshit. It's not that simple, his yell echoed, then softened to plea. I love you, Dan. But this scares me. What if it all crumbles? Then we rebuild. I stepped close, hand on his chest, feeling the thunder of his heart. Together, he pulled me in, kiss fierce, apology in every press. We made up on the kitchen floor, cold tile forgotten in the heat. His hands worshipful, my name a mantra on his lips. I swear, he gasped after, holding me close. No more hiding, winter bit hard, snow blanketing the bridges in white hush. We leaned in, holiday lights strung on the fire escape, his head on my shoulder as we watched Die Hard for the 10th time, quoting lines in sync. New Year's Eve, rooftop with cheap Prosecco, his toast slurred and sweet. To us, messy, real, forever, but betrayal doesn't announce. It slithers. It came via email mine, forwarded from the gallery. An invite to his office holiday gala. +1. I grinned, showing him that night. Fancy. I'll wear the velvet jacket. His face shuddered. Yeah. About that. He shifted, avoiding my eyes. It's a work thing. Black tie. Jess's. My date. The room tilted. Jess. Professional. She's in marketing. Helps with clients. Looks good on my arm. You know? Optics. Optics. I laughed. Hollow. Fuck your optics. Alex. This is us. It's fake. A beard. Whatever you call it. He reached, but I jerked back. Dan, please. My boss is old school. Homophobic as hell. One night. Then I'm out. Full disclosure. Everything. Liar. The word hung. Final. I grabbed my coat, storming into the sleet-snarled night, his pleas chasing me down the stairs. I crashed at Ethan's, the sculptor, uncomplicated, his loft a warm refuge of clay dust and takeout. Stay as long as you need, he said. No pressure, just a mug of tea and a shoulder. We hooked up once, gentle and detached, but it only sharpened the ache. Alex bombarded my phone. Baby, I'm sorry. Come home. It's nothing. I love you. Blocked. January thawed the snow but not the ice between us. He showed at the studio, gaunt and desperate, begging through the door. Let me explain. I cracked it, chain still latched. Explain what? That I'm your dirty little secret. You're not. Tears streaked his face. Unfamiliar. I panicked. The job is my ticket out of this grind. But losing you, that's everything. Too late. I shut the door, sliding down it, sobs muffled against knees. The climax shattered 2 weeks later. Valentine's irony's cruel joke. Gallery show downtown. My biggest yet. A series called Fractures. Canvases of shattered forms. Blues bleeding red. Critics raved. Collectors bid. Alex slipped in late. Tux rumpled. Eyes scanning until they found me across the room, laughing with Ethan. He crossed the floor. Voice low thunder. We need to talk. Now. Not here. But he grabbed my arm, pulling into the back alley. February chill biting through my shirt. You ghosted me. Accusation-laced hurt. After everything. You betrayed me. I yanked free. Jess on your arm. Me in the shadows. Again. It was one night, and I told her about us. She was cool. Supportive even. Bullshit. Rage boiled over. You think that's enough? After years of this dance. I was protecting us. He stepped close. Breath fogging air. My career. Your art, it's all tied up. I fuck up now. We both sink. Protecting yourself. The truth lashed out. Admit it. You're ashamed. His slap cracked sharp. Not hard, but shocking. Palm stinging my cheek. We both froze. Horror dawning in his eyes. Dan. God. I'm sorry. I didn't. I touched my face. World blurring. Get out. He did. Vanishing into the night. Leaving me shattered in the alley's grime. The slap echoed louder in the days after. A bruise blooming purple under my eye like an accusation I couldn't hide. Gallery chatter turned sympathetic whispers. Trouble in paradise? But I painted through it. Fury fueling strokes that bled across canvas. Jagged lines, colors clashing violent. Ethan hovered, kind but distant, our fling fizzling into friendship. You deserve better, he'd say, passing a joint on his fire escape. City lights winking indifferent below. Alex's texts trickled to silence. Then a flood. Voicemails raw with regret. Flowers wilting on my doorstep. Roses red as blood. I deleted, trashed, ignored. But the apartment echoed empty without him. No forgotten ties on the bathroom floor. No bass of his laugh bouncing off walls. Nights, I'd trace the dent in the mattress from his weight. Ghosts mocking me. Spring unfurled tentative. Cherry blossoms dusting the park like fragile hope. My art surged. A commission from MoMA's Scout. Whispers of a residency in L.A. Fresh start. My agent gushed over brunch in the West Village. Mimosas fizzing. But starting over meant leaving him behind. And that ache? Bone deep. He cornered me at the farmer's market on Union Square. Stalls bursting with rhubarb and peonies. Air sweet with vendor calls. I was fingering heirloom tomatoes. Basket heavy. When his voice cut through, "Dan," I stiffened. Not turning. Stalking now? Classy. Please. Footsteps close. His scent wrapping familiar cedar and regret. 5 minutes. Coffee? Against better judgment. I nodded. We sat on a bench by the fountain. Paper cups steaming. Pigeons strutting bold. He looked wrecked. Stubble thick. I shadowed. The golden boy dimmed. "I quit," he blurted. Steam curling from his cup. "Wall Street. Yeah. Handed notice last week. Boss was a dick anyway. Found out he's laundering or some shit. Whatever. Point is, I chose. Me." Skepticism laced my voice. "Us. This." He gestured vague, encompassing the park, the city, the wreckage. "I went to therapy. Some queer-friendly place in Chelsea. Turns out, I'm bi. Pan. Whatever the fuck. But in love with you." I sipped, scalding my tongue. "And the slap." He winced, gaze dropping. "Unforgivable." I was scared, angry at myself. "Never again. I swear on everything." "Why now?" Pressed, heart thudding. "After months of radio silence?" "Because I hit rock bottom." Voice cracked. He leaned forward, elbows on knees. "Woke up every day without you, and it was gray. No color. You're my color, Dan. My spark." Tears pricked, but I blinked them back. I can't just flip a switch. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. "I know." He reached tentative, hand open on the bench. "Let me earn it." "Dates. Real ones. No hiding." I stared at his palm, calloused from pickup games, the one that had held mine in the dark. Slid my fingers into it, squeezed tentative. "One date. Fuck it up, and we're done." His grin broke. Sunrise after storm. "Deal." That date was magic. Dinner at a hole-in-the-wall Italian in Little Italy. Candlelight flickering on Chianti bottles. His knee pressed warm against mine under the table. We talked real, his therapy breakthroughs. My fears of abandonment rooted in a dad who bailed when I was 10. Laughter bubbled. "Easy." His foot hooking my ankle playful. After. Walk along the waterfront. Manhattan Bridge glowing electric. His arm around my waist as we kissed slow under the stars. Tourists whooping from a party boat. But the world narrowed to us. Rebuilding was jagged, full of stumbles. His family Thanksgiving invite hung. "Bring whoever." His mom said vague on speakerphone, but he declined, citing work. "Next year," he promised, but doubt lingered. Work hunts dragged. He tempied at a nonprofit, helping queer youth shelters. Irony not lost. "Feels right," he'd say, coming home with stories that made my chest swell. Sex reignited spark. Lazy Sundays in bed, his mouth lazy on my neck, hands mapping like rediscovery. "Beautiful," he'd whisper, eyes reverent on my body, and I'd believe him, arching into praise that healed old wounds. But conflict simmered. Jess resurfaced. Office gossip via a mutual friend. She'd cornered him at a bar. We could make it work, slurring wine breath offers. He shut her down, but told me hesitant, like confessing sin. It stirred shit up. Made me question if I could do this, be out, be us. Jealousy flared, hot and irrational. Question away, I snapped over dinner, fork clattering. Doors open. Don't. He grabbed my hand, eyes fierce. I'm in. All in. We fought. Ugly words about trust, about his lingering closet, and made up harder, bodies crashing like waves on Coney Island boardwalk. Fight for me? I gasped against his throat, nails digging. Always. Summer heat baked the city sticky, fire hydrants spraying kids in the streets below. My LA residency loomed, 3 months in the hills, sun-bleached canvases calling. Come visit, I said, packing crates in the sweltering loft, sweat beading on his brow as he taped boxes. Every weekend, he grinned, but anxiety shadowed it. Long distance? Sucks, but doable. The night before I left, storm clouds gathered again, fate's signature. We walked the bridge at dusk, hand in hand, skyline fracturing in the Hudson's ripple. I love you, he said, stopping mid-span, wind whipping his shirt. More than the fear, kissed me there, public and unashamed, a jogger whistling as she passed. Love you too, I murmured, heart full. But airports breed goodbyes like weeds. LAX swallowed me, palm trees mocking with their permanence, while JFK faded in rearview. Texts bridged the gap. Miss your laugh. Painted the hills today orange fire. Calls late, his voice husky from insomnia. Hurry back, mid-residency. The call came, his mom. Number unfamiliar. Daniel? It's Elaine. Alex. He's in the hospital. World stopped. What? Car accident. Drunk driver on the turnpike. He's stable, but... Come home. Flight booked frantic. Landing in Newark dawn gray. Cab to the hospital. Sterile halls blurring. His room a curtained limbo. He lay pale. Tubes snaking arms. Bruises blooming like my abstract paintings. Woke groggy. I's finding mine. Dan. You came. Always. I took his hand. For cold against skin. Family filtered in, dad gruff. Mom tear-streaked. Questions hung. How long? She asked soft. Piecing it. Alex squeezed my fingers. Long enough. He's it for me. Acceptance bloomed tentative, hugs awkward, but real. Family, she said, patting my cheek. All of it. Recovery dragged. PT sessions where I'd will him to the garden, his curses turning to laughs as he gripped parallel bars. Home to Brooklyn, our bed a haven, nights of gentle touches, his head on my lap, my fingers in his hair, reading Whitman aloud until sleep claimed him. But the accident cracked deeper fissures. Nightmares plagued him, twisted metal, screeching tires, waking in sweats, clinging to me like anchor. What if I lose you? He'd whisper, voice small. You won't, but doubt crept. My art career pulling west, his healing tying east. Fights flared petty over dishes, over distance escalating to core fears. You're leaving, he accused one humid night, rain drumming again. For work. Not you. I cupped his face, thumbs on cheekbones sharp from weight loss. We choose each other. Every day. He nodded, but shadows lingered. Autumn returned gold and fleeting, leaves crunching underfoot as we navigated the new normal. His cane tapping sidewalks, my arm steady at his elbow. Therapy doubled. Couple sessions in a sunlit office overlooking the High Line, unpacking the slap, the betrayal, the accident's shadow. Communication, the counselor droned, but we learned, his vulnerability spilling in quiet admissions, my walls crumbling under his patience. He proposed change, move with me. To Philly, over cider at a fall fest in Dumbo, hay bales and pumpkin spice thick in air. Closer to family, cheaper rent. I can commute, you studio from home. Build something solid. I hesitated, fork paused in pie. LA's calling. Big break. LA can wait. His hand covered mine. Warm. We can't. Torn. I weighed it, city lights versus hearth fires. Agreed tentative. Sublet the loft. Trial run. Packing felt like surrender. Boxes labeled fragile mirroring us. Philly welcomed soft. Row house in Fishtown. Exposed brick and creaky floors. His childhood stories painting walls. Mornings of his mom's coffee deliveries. For my boys, she'd say, winking, and evenings sketching him at the kitchen table, cane-propped, eyes crinkling over case files from his new nonprofit gig. Love deepened humanistic, raw, helping him relearn stride, his frustration melting into gratitude. Him surprising me with a home studio, easel by the window overlooking the Schuylkill, light golden. Sex healed, slow, exploratory, his body reclaiming strength, mine yielding to his lead. You're my miracle, he'd murmur post-climax, fingers tracing my spine. But climax loomed, not thunderous, but quiet earthquake. Winter solstice, family dinner at their sprawling colonial, turkey and tensions thawed by months of inclusion. Dad pulled him aside post-meal, voices low in the den. I hovered kitchen, eavesdropping accidental. Proud of you, son, for coming clean. Daniel's good people, heart swelled, but Alex's reply gutted, yeah, he's everything. But Dad, the accident, woke me up. Life's short. Gotta grab it. Then why the hesitation? Pause heavy. Heard you talking to that recruiter. West Coast firm. Big money. Silence stretched. Then Alex, it's an opportunity. For us. Stability. Betrayal's echo subtle. This time. Not a slap, but a fracture. I slipped out, coat grabbed, crunching leaves to the car. He followed, cane thumping urgent. Dan, wait. I whirled in the driveway, lamps casting long shadows. LA? Again? It's not. He stopped, breath fogging. A branch office. Hybrid. We could split time. Lies. Hurt-laced accusation. You promised no more secrets. Opportunities. Not secrets. He stepped close, free hand on my arm. For us. Your art needs exposure. My job funds it. But if it's too much, it is. Voice broke. Every time I trust, you pivot. Protect the future. Forget the now. I'm not forgetting. Frustration cracked. I'm building. For the life we want, house, maybe kids someday, adoption or whatever. Kids. The word hung. Future vast. I softened, pulling him into hug, cane clattering. Then build with me. No pivots. Snow started, fat flakes melting on lashes. Deal, he whispered, kiss sealing it. Resolution bloomed humanistic, not fairy tale but earned. We turned down LA, his job, my residency deferred, rooting in Philly's grit. Gallery shows rotated east. His non-profit thrived, advocating for queer families. Conflicts arose. Money tight, his limp lingering on cold days. But we faced them. Date nights at dive bars, quoting Springsteen like old times, therapy check-ins, laughter edging out tears. One spring dawn, 2 years post-storm, he woke me with coffee and a ring, simple silver, engraved messy forever. Marry me, kneeling awkward on the quilt, eyes blue and sure. Tears blurred. Yes, wedding small, rooftop in Fishtown, rain held off by miracle, family and friends toasting under string lights. Vows raw his, I choose you, every fractured day. Mine, you mended me, without trying. First dance to Thunder Road, his hand steady on my waist. No cane needed. Years folded. Adoption papers signed for a freckled boy named Theo. All questions and energy. My murals gracing Philly alleys. Stories of love in bold strokes. Alex's hair silvered at temples. Mine tousled still. But the current between us? Electric. Enduring. Storms came. Theo's coming out at 16. Echoes of our youth. Job losses weathered together. But we held, humanistic in imperfection. One rainy night, Theo asleep upstairs. We tangled in sheets, his breath on my neck. Worth every tension, he murmured. Yeah, I whispered, hand over his heart. Every single one, and in the quiet, as thunder grumbled distant, we knew love wasn't absence of wreck. But sailing through it, sides blurred, forever.